Everyone, I'll just give you a quick overview of what's actually happened here on this site. It's in Pottsfield in southeast London, or just on the Thames. It's a very windy part of the world. So the crane that's up there now, the arrow rather, weighs in at about 6 tons. There's about 1,000 clips holding it together. There's bespoke bracketry and various bits of truss that have been put together to get the shape of it. The television screens, or the LED screens that are on there, it's £500,000 worth of screen up there. It's 14 metres long, the screen, by about 4 metres high. So to be able to make sure people can see that all the way around here, we had to go this way. The reason that it's only on one side is because the crane, which is holding the whole thing up, can only lift 6 tons safely. So because of the size of it, we have essentially 100 square metres of sail up there. So it's like putting a bit of a boat up in the air. The length of the whole thing is approximately 20 metres. It's 8.5 metres tip to tip. So it's quite a sizable piece of construction. As you can see, wind is one of our very important factors here. There's an anemometer sitting on this structure here. This structure is known as our storage dock. So at night, we're not allowed to leave anything on a crane unattended. So we have to bring it in every evening. So that has to sail in. The man has to go out onto the bridge. The crane operator operates the crane manually. It's an exceptional operator. To keep that level all the time, he's operating 2 motors. And we have to spot it in here, and we have to spot from the bridge as well. So we're all on radios to ensure that happens. As far as the site itself is concerned, we have various port cabins, you can see. The most important one for us is this one over here. This is the comms cabin. This is where all the moderated content comes in, and this is where all of our camera feeds, because we're sending live camera feeds of this. So every time somebody puts a message up, our cameras take photos of that, they upload to an FTP site, and they're disseminated then out to various agencies that need that to populate the websites for Nokia. This is live in, I think it's 40 countries. So there's a lot of back-end technology that's gone on with that. The applications that were written, that have been used here, are all bespoke applications. We've all had an awful lot of input into it, just to how practically we can make this thing work. So there's an awful lot of people behind the scenes who've been involved in this, and still are. We're just a small component of the bigger picture. The crane itself weighs in, on the road, it's 60 tons. And as you can see, it's on various pads to spread its own weight. As the wind is a problem, we have to occasionally go into something known as free slew, which means if the wind gets up, the crane is detecting all the loads on it all the time. So as the chaps are moving it around, if the wind starts pushing against it, various safety features engage, and it releases the brakes on the slew ring, which allows the crane then to move, to work with the wind, so that you don't end up with trying to fight against it, because you can't beat the wind, unfortunately. If you look on the London skyline, obviously you can't see it here now, but there's cranes all over the place. At night, every one of those brakes are taken off, and they're just allowed to move into the wind like a ship, as you see. So it's in itself, the cranes, there's an art behind them. The guys are very, very skilled. The gentlemen that are working on this project are also responsible for the David Blaine project you might have seen. The hanging baskets when he was over. It was on this site actually, down in the end there. They also have done all of the Harry Potter films. They've done all the broomstick stuff you see with the high-speed camera moves. They do all of that alongside the rigging company, the company who actually came up with how we could physically build this. They're also responsible for high-speed cameras on cranes. These things shift. They do. I'll just take you over to this point on the site. I don't want to disturb our guys in the comms room too much. I'll let you just have a quick look in there if that's okay. I'll get Bob, who's out, the chap who's looking after that, just to have a quick run over as to how the moderation works. We've also got a 10 meg internet connection onto the site, which I know sounds like it should be pretty easy, but we are in an abandoned car park. So actually we've got a fibre link in from the building with the cafe on the corner over here, and we've had BT here for about 5 days pulling new lines in for us just so as we can get the bandwidth we need. So if you want to follow us over. Completely self-sufficient. Our generator system, this is where all of our power comes from the whole site. 200 kVA generator sets running there. We can do this. Hold everyone here behind you. You've got an idea now of the docking station. There's 16 tonnes of weight. Those concrete slabs are 2 tonnes each. And the whole, this whole structure alone is in the region of about 20 tonnes. And that's just so as we can land it. That's without anything to do with the crane itself, with the arrow itself. And going on to the arrow itself, not only have we got the screen technology on there, we've also got LED technology. The little white bobbles you can see all the way around the outside, as you can see it changing colour. There's 6 watt LEDs, there's 280 of them up there. They're all individually addressed, so we can make anything happen with the lights and the patterns up there. The idea behind that is that so as we can see the outline of the arrow at night, so it looks like it's hanging. I believe most of you on the boat last night, so you saw it in the dark. You saw what was going on with that. Equally, the Nokia logo that's on there as well. That has, I can't remember now. It's the meterage. I can't remember the meterage of LEDs we've got inside that as well. That's all weatherproofed as well. And then on the back edge we have about 20 floodlights, which is the rear of the arrow is actually a static banner, and that also gives us allows us to have the advertising to get people to the site.
Sorry, I was just going to ask the guys if they'd be okay with us filming for Nokia. Wondering if you'd be okay if we just filmed you as you go around on your tour. Would that be? Is anyone that's not happy being filmed, please? Sorry? You don't want to be filmed?
No.
Oh, you're okay?
Yep.
No, I mean, seriously, if anyone is not happy being filmed, please say so.
Yeah, you're under no obligation, guys, so it's up to you.
That's great. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
Tom?
I'm just going to follow you around, just do as you were. Well, I think we saw you guys up there, didn't we?
Yeah.
With eyes on the road, yeah.
Stand by. Excuse me.
I was turning, but he was pointing in the wrong direction. I mean, I think we've got a rough idea of what it is. Cool. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, when they're through.
Excuse me. How long does it take from a message change to come up on the screen?
Instant.
Instant. Okay.
We are holding the messages for 90 seconds. So the idea behind... Sorry, excuse me. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
Sorry, Neil, I've just realised it's going to be a rolling message. This is going to be for a photo op to the David Army.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sorry, guys.